In this video, we're going to talk about what's called an annuity. An annuity is when you make payments into a particular account to reach a certain goal. There are two types of annuities. There's what's called an ordinary annuity. In an ordinary annuity, we're going to make our payments at the end of each term. And the other type of annuity is called a annuity due. In an annuity due, we make our payments at the beginning of each term. For this particular class, we only study ordinary annuities. The formula for annuities can be used to find either what we call the future value or the present value. In this first video, we're going to talk about future value problems. And the equation for a future value annuity looks like this. Call the future value FV. That's equal to our payment, which we'll refer to as PMT, times 1 plus I, which is the periodic interest rate, raised to the n minus 1 over I. Now, it's essential that when we go to plug numbers into this right here, to this equation right here, we make sure we carry our answers in our calculator. So let's look at this first example. This says, what is the value of an annuity at the end of 20 years if $2,000 is deposited each year into an account earning 8.5 compounded annually? How much of the value is interest? Let's first set up how to distinguish between an annuity and maybe compound interest. Notice we have the word compounding here, so that would generally mean use the compounding formula. However, this lets me know that I'm not using the compound formula because now I'm making payments into something. When you make payments, it's going to be in an annuity. So, because we're making payments, we need to use the annuity formula. In a compound formula, you would make an initial investment and you don't touch that investment after that. Here, you're going to have to make payments. And here you're making your payments annually because you're depositing each year. So, we're looking for the value of the annuity at the end of 20 years. So we want to find the future value FV. We know that our payment is equal to $2,000. N in this case, this N represents the number of payments. So how many payments are we going to put into this account? Well, we're making a payment every year, and we're doing that for 20 years. So my N is equal to 20. So when I calculate this, plugging in, and I know the periodic interest rate, I. So periodic interest rate is how many times am I compounding that interest rate? And so I is equal to, well, I equals, the interest rate itself is 8.5% expressed as a decimal, 0.085, and I'm compounding it annually, which means once a year. So I is just 0.085. Plugging into the formula, I get the future value is equal to my payments, which is $2,000, times 1 plus my I, which is 0.085, raised to the n, which is 20, minus 1. And for this particular problem, I'm going to divide by the I, which is 0.085. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'll work the inside of 1 plus 0.085 first. And I get 1.085. Then I'm going to take that answer, I'm going to carry it and raise it to the 20th power next. And I get this value here. Then I'll subtract 1 from that and get that number there. So essentially what I've done is I worked all of the top part. The next thing I'm going to do is divide this by the bottom 0.085. And finally, I'm going to take all of that and multiply it by my payment, which is 20,000, or 2,000, I'm sorry. And I get this value here for the future value of $96,754.03. And I've done all this in the calculator, so there is no rounding.